Konnichiwa. Thank you all for welcoming us so warmly to Tokyo. And I want to thank you all for being here because the weather was not very cooperative this morning, and we were unfortunately not able to have the photo shoot we wanted to. So thank you for your patience and also for your arriving here. I know the trains have stopped. So whatever you went through to be here, it's deeply appreciated. So, arigatou gozaimasu.
I came here in April, so it's really amazing to be back. Thank you for having us.
Konnichiwa. Thank you for having me. I've had a great time today, and I'm so happy to be here to share more info on the movie. Thank you.
Thank you very much for such an amazing welcome. Tokyo is a place that I feel has always heard many different people it's the best city in the world. And in the 13 hours that we've been here, apart from the food at the hotel, and the people have been very generous and have embodied that reputation. So it's such a pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you. I think the fun of Star Wars is it's sort of a universal language. It's a story of romance and adventure and comedy and heart and incredible spectacle and action, but at the core of the story has always been the humanity of the characters, and that seems to transcend cultures and countries. But in this particular film, it's a brand new story set in an incredible world, and the story centers on two new young characters played by these fine actors to my right, and a very evil new villain played by the fine actor to my left. The story centers around Rey, and she played truly spectacularly by Daisy Ridley. And this is a woman who is a young woman who is a very strong character, has a huge heart, and is just discovering her place in the world. And the first friend she ever has comes in the form of this droid called BB-8, who has an unbelievable personality, and as many of these people have said here on stage, steals many scenes. He's an incredible character that was actually performed on set by some brilliant puppeteers. So Rey and BB-8 end up crossing paths with Finn, John's character, and the adventure begins. But it's something that I hope Japanese audiences like just as much as I love Japan.
Yeah, very much so. From the first time I met JJ, apart from the first thing out of his mouth being about story and character, was kind of what him and Larry Kasdan had already been talking about, which they kind of started, I think this is right, going back to what originally influenced George Lucas as a part, also the original trilogy, but going back to the films of Kurosawa and Hidden Fortress and Seven Samurai and those films. So that's where I kind of started, and I feel like the Star Wars world is almost like a real person playing an historical figure where you kind of take the things from them that open your imagination. I guess you steal the things from them that open your imagination, and then you kind of disregard the things that don't. And I think that's where we kind of started it. You know, I watched those films, which I can't believe I didn't know before, and stole the things that seemed to fit, and disregarded the things that didn't. As far as the look of it, most of it was figured out before I got there, but there was already so much storytelling in the costume, in that even his helmet. You know, we had talked earlier about the eyes. That I noticed it in Darth Vader's mask. You know, you could see his eyes, and as an audience member, couldn't help but project your emotions onto what he was thinking. And then they kind of showed me the helmet, and it was actually the absence of eyes, which I thought was interesting, which forced you as an audience member to kind of look a little deeper, which I thought was an interesting metaphor for the movie, and also an insight to the character. And even his lightsaber is something that you kind of got the sense that at any minute could not work or blow up, or very handmade and unpolished, and again, that was a good first stab in trying to find out who he was. Maybe the character is actually unpolished and could questions himself, and maybe could explode at any minute.
The way I describe it is, for anyone who loves Star Wars or anyone who loves Harrison Ford, working with him is just as amazing as you would expect. He's incredibly kind and funny, so I never felt out of my depth. I never felt like I was working across from someone who was so kind of out of reach, because he never made me feel like that. Obviously, and Carrie and Mark, it's the same kind of thing. Carrie is brilliant and hilarious and made me feel very at home, and the stories Mark tells is incredible. The combination of all of them, Anthony and everyone, it's really incredible. And to watch them all work and the enthusiasm they came with back to doing Star Wars, I think made everyone feel like this was really a good thing to do. It didn't feel like they were over it, like they were all really excited to be back. So to see that was really incredible.